He's played a cop before, but since it's Vivek Oberoi, you can count on him to bring something new to the table every time. Now he's coming in Rohit Shetty's cop universe in Indian Police Force, and we are expecting something different, right, Vivek?
Well,
We're expecting something grand, that is for sure, because when Rohit and you combine, and we have all the other stars as well, Siddharth and Shilpa, it can't be something small. So first of all, welcome to DNA.
Thank you.
And I will start with how excited are you, because you've done web series before, you've done films before, but not something like this. It's in another genre altogether, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this has been an exceptional experience for me because, like you mentioned, grand.
Yeah.
Rohit Shetty doesn't do anything in small scale. Everything is scale. Of course, I'd known Rohit for 2 decades now. We started our careers at the same time, and I've never experienced shooting with him. I was shooting here in Delhi.
Okay.
My introduction sequence is Vikram Bakshi. And it was a 4-day shoot. And they sent me 1.5 pages to read. I said, ये 1.5 पन्ने हैं, ये तो आज का सीन है. कल परसों तरसों क्या कर रहे हैं? So Rohit bhai said, just come with me. Come on the set. I went on the set and I saw 1,000 people only to realize that they're part of the shoot.
Wow.
There were 100 plus vehicles only to realize they're part of the shoot. And this is at India Gate. All of India Gate was utilized as the location for the shoot. I was thinking, how have you locked down India Gate?
Right.
मैं कोविड में ऐसा लॉकडाउन देखा होगा उसके बाद नहीं. And it was incredible to see that. And then I said 1.5 pages in 4 days. He says, how many cameras are here? He said 14. I was like, 14 cameras? He's like, yeah. That's when I realized, oh gosh, this is truly scale. Right. Even on OTT, this is Rohit Shetty scale.
That is what I like about, from the trailer at least, that he has not scaled down.
Yeah.
उन्होंने कुछ भी compromise नहीं किया है. He is being quintessentially Rohit Shetty here. And what's the experience like of working in such a thing जहाँ आपको मालूम है that there are no corners being cut? What's that like? It's fun, right?
It's amazing, yeah, because you feel it's so qualitative. And what was phenomenal is to see, it's a difficult balance, right? You're trying to create something real because it's OTT. People prefer something raw, real, honest, logical. At the same time, you have to bring in the Rohit Shetty brand, which is the scale, the cop universe, you know, the massiveness of it. And I think he's successfully achieved that. He changed the grammar of his cinema for it. As an actor, it was a lot of fun working with Dr. Rohit Shetty. Because he's a PhD doctor in police.
Right, of course.
Because he just knows everything there is to know. So you have zero research homework, आपको करना ही नहीं पड़ता, कुछ मेहनत करनी नहीं पड़ती है. Everything comes to you completely pre-digested, categorized. Everything from the way you look, to the way you speak, to the technical conversations, everything is already done.
So it's like जैसे bound script आपके पास
beautiful with complete detail for each character. Everybody has everything, you know. He focuses on every single element and aspect of uniform से लेके conversation, technical, control room. How should everything look? It's authentic. So all you have to do is now focus on your performance, which is great for any actor, yeah, because now you're only focusing on the emotional aspect of things.
You've played cops before in films as well. I mean, going back to Dum, I would say, to now.
Dum was a cadet, was a cop hopeful.
Cop hopeful, yeah. But what I found when I see is that you are going from rogue young cops to now the senior pro, जिसके under वो rogue लोग काम कर रहे हैं. So it's sort of a career trajectory for yours as well, now that you're becoming a more mature person.
It's a very very polite way of saying age. No, I think
matured.
I think Rohit bhai wanted that. He wanted somebody to play this who is very much like who he and I are at our stages of life. Vikram Bakshi is like that.
Right.
Vikram Bakshi is all about his family. His family is not just his wife and kids. His family is also his juniors, his seniors. The seniors are almost like ghar ke bade. Juniors are almost like ghar ke chote.
Right.
You know, he's the kind of guy who will take a bullet for anybody in his team. You know, he's that guy who will come between, dhal ban ke khada ho jayega. And that honest integrity, that maturity, that wisdom that goes beyond just the office work, which you'll see as flavors in the character, was what we needed to bring to the table. And I thought it was an interesting color for me to play.
Do you think, looking back if you like, कि Uday Shinde from Dum could have gone on in his career to be Vikram Bakshi?
Possibly, yes. Yeah. I think Uday Shinde over years he would still have that little aggression in him.
Of course.
That little, righteous indignation. The word that comes to mind. Ki when you're righteous, when you're correct, you feel upset about a lot of things. Ki, you're hampered by a system. सामने वाले को system का सोचना ही नहीं है, देखना ही नहीं है. वो तो जब चाहे जहाँ चाहे bomb कर दे.
Exactly.
And you have to still operate within the framework of a system. So that frustration and that anger is always there. But also over age and years, you've learned to control it. You've learned how, from your seniors, to manage the system without breaking it.
Shooting in Delhi is always a challenge because this city, of course, it's become better now, but it's not as used to shoots as compared to Bombay, jहाँ पे it's a regular feature.
Look, but Delhi was, this shooting experience was a lot better. Right. I have shot in the past in Delhi, and it's been very challenging because you guys call them. So you would have those appear and they would say ki bhaiya permission dikhao. They would take a lut and start hammering the camera back in the day.
Back in the day, हाँ.
And he used to be like, ये क्या पागलपन है, क्यों बदतमीजी कर रहे हैं यहाँ के कैमरा को क्यों मार रहे हैं, 2-2.5 करोड़ का कैमरा है, उसको आप लट्ठे से मार रहे हैं. You have no concept of it.
Right.
आपको कागज चाहिए, आप कागज ले लो, देख लो भाई, लाइन प्रोडक्शन से बात कर लो, टेक द, आप बिल्कुल कैमरा के बीच में आ गए, सब शूटिंग वूटिंग रोक दी, दादागिरी शुरू कर दी. I remember one experience and it never leaves me is we were shooting next to Qutub Minar and the guy saw the permission and he said नहीं ये permission के हिसाब से आपके पास ये angle की permission है आप ये angle shoot नहीं कर सकते.
He was a cinematographer as well.
He wanted to be paid, which was very frustrating at that time. But now things are so much better. This experience was so smooth. We had a lot of support from the government, from the police force, and it was very, very pleasurable experience.
One thing I wanted to ask is that over the years and including here, you have played characters which are manly. They are just a man thing, but it's not macho. There's always that sensitive side to it. Whether it's Uday Shinde, whether it's this, even Maya Dolas for that matter, he had a sensitive side to him, whether he was brash or the other way, it's not another thing. But of late, our films have had characters which are pretty macho out there. That's a new language of cinema that has come up. Why do you see that has happened, even though we have had sensitive, manly characters who the audience have fated, from Mr. Bachchan to your generation, but अब वो धीरे-धीरे change होने लगा है. We are seeing a lot more characters who are, which is why films get accused of misogyny. कि ये तो बहुत ज़्यादा sexist हो गया है. पहले नहीं होता था इतना. Maybe 15 years ago, maybe we were not aware that much, but I don't see it happening that much because the characters were slightly more layered. Do you see that as a regression or do you see this as just a phase?
Look, I think many times people mistake storytelling for glorification.
Okay.
When you glorify a man in uniform who is protecting the country but yet killing people, he's killing human beings. He's protecting the country but he's killing human beings. That's okay.
Right.
But you're not thinking from a character's perspective. I think cinema should not be in moral jail. That would be a grave error if we do that as a society. Cinema should be open. If no actor would play immoral roles, then how would you have Ram Leela? Who would play Ravan?
True.
Who would play Rakshas? Who would play Asur? Who would play that? So you have to have storytelling in that way where you have different layers and different characters and you have to have the freedom of that. It's a perspective. And if the audience is watching it, they're resonating with it. If the audience is not watching it, they're rejecting it, no matter how good or bad the portrayal is. There are fatalist romances, right? For example, today I loved watching Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak. I was a kid. I laughed, I smiled, I felt their struggle, and I cried when they both died, right? From Romeo and Juliet to now. But now if I say that Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak is glorifying suicide, it's a spin.
Right.
It's a soundbite. Oh, it's a very bad film because it's glorifying suicide.
I get it.
But it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's a film. It's a story. And we need to keep them out of that morality ka daira. Otherwise, everything will become synthetic and sterile.
Right. To move on to this, that you've done a few web series.
I have.
Yeah, and now you're coming out. I don't even know if I want to call it a web series or more of a 8-hour film because of the scale that it is. What do you see about this platform, OTT? How has it been for you? I mean, it's almost like, I wouldn't say second innings or renaissance or anything, but it has been a very nice change of pace for you, right?
The funniest thing is when I started with Inside Edge, season 1 and 2 and 3 with Prime Video, everybody said, why are you doing it? Are you crazy? What is this OTT? What does it stand for? What's the full form of OTT? Who's Prime Video? Okay, Amazon, that delivery company that sends you stuff is going to make content and video. Why are you doing it? You're crazy. It's better to do television than to do this. You know? But I was already watching what was happening on the OTT scene outside, and I was interested in the storytelling. I was interested in being an actor, an ability to play a whole season, and different shades and colors across every episode, and then reinvent that character for the second season, which I had to do with Vikrant Dhawan. You had to hate him in the first season, and you had to root for him in the second season. For him to come back. Right? So that you don't get to play in a film. It's very difficult to play that kind of layered arc because you don't have that much time. You don't have a 20-hour film to play. So I enjoyed that aspect and I jumped into it. And later on, of course, everybody said trailblazer, smart move, first mainstream actor to join on Prime Video, first Amazon original. It was the first Amazon Prime original. We went on to win an Emmy nomination. I went on to win a multiple. I was fortunate to win many awards for Vikrant Dhawan's character as a performance. So at the end of it, in hindsight, is always 2020. People say, a very smart move, good, disruption, all of that. But at the initial stage, you have to have that jigger to say, I'm going to try it. If it fails, it fails. It was an attempt. I'm going to try it. I'm going to experiment. If I don't do it now, when I'm so comfortable and stable in my career, where I still have more work offered to me than I can possibly do in a year. If I don't take these risks now, when will I take it? I couldn't take them when I started my career. But now that I'm stable and settled and steady, I can take those risks. I can experiment and I can say it's fine. We can do it. So I started with OTT like that. I think the culmination of that story for me was when Jeff Bezos and his girlfriend were here in India. They invited a few of us for a dinner evening. And off the cuff, he just asked me, because I was introduced as the guy who played, the first Amazon original and all of that. He said, why do you do it? I said, well, I believe that OTT is the medium of the youth. And Jeff Bezos never fails at anything he does. So he laughed just the way you did.
That's a good one. So in one word to sum it up, what can the audience expect from Indian Police Force?
The unexpected.
Okay, that was the best way to end this. Thank you for your time, Vivek. All the best for Indian Police Force, which streams on Amazon Prime Video this week. Thank you.
Thank you.